Warm welcome, Hazel Gale, one of our Festival of Doers speakers in Zurich this autumn. Good morning, Hazel. How are you?
I'm really well. How are you?
I'm well. Very excited to be talking to you, and I'm so happy you're traveling to Zurich. But before we dive into all of that, I know you being working on very exciting projects. Your book has come out. So let's start by sharing what you do, what is your work, and obviously I want to hear more about the new book.
Well, I'm a cognitive hypnotherapist, and my book was published in March. It's called Fight, Win Freedom from Self-Sabotage. It's about the unruly parts of our personality that cause us to do or feel the things that we don't want to do. And in my book, I call them monsters, mind monsters. And the most exciting thing that's come out of the publishing process so far has been how the Mind Monsters project has taken off. So I've been receiving these incredible drawings, painting. I've got an oil painting, I've got animated GIFs, and I've even got one really, really beautiful song about somebody's monster. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, really, really, and it happens to be exactly the type of music that I love as well, so it's perfect. And that's all up on the Mind Monsters website, which is mindmonsters.online. And it's just been really humbling and heartening to see people taking the process and just getting involved in their vulnerability so incredibly.
Yeah, in London in January at Festival of Doers, we were all holding our mind monsters, and it was an incredible experience. I spoke with a lot of the attendees afterwards, and they said that experience had really, really shifted a lot, and they learned that. I think what was a real big takeaway for me and many of the attendees was that you shouldn't fight your kind of negative inside talk, that you can actually work with your mind monsters. So I'm very much looking forward to doing more of that work in September in Zurich. Yeah, go ahead.
The Festival of Doers in January was the first time I gave that process to a large group of people, other than individual clients or people reading the book, and it was amazing to see everybody doing that. It was really, really great.
And can you talk a little bit how your definition of success has evolved? I mean, I'm always, as you know, a driven woman, we always start from, what do you actually want, rather than mindlessly kind of chasing maybe something that ego might be producing, or some other people are putting pressure on what we should be wanting. So I'm very much always interested how that evolves.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've nailed it. The problem with chasing success is that we all seem to be it's so easy to work to this pre-subscribed definition of what that actually means, and so our values get skewed. We think we need to search for that. We think we need to pay attention to how much money something's going to pay us, or how much accolade it's going to bring in. But my opinion is that as soon as you take those things into consideration, we tend to then just find ourselves drawn into that horrible gravity of comparison. As soon as you're putting a number against anything, it's a number that can be comparable to anyone else's number. And that's true of money that you're earning. It's true of Facebook likes that you get, Instagram followers, whatever it is that you're looking at. Actually, after publishing the book, it was interesting. All the way through the book, I managed to stay really, really present, and I was enjoying every moment, even the really challenging bits. I still relished, and I was waking up in the morning excited to do what I was doing. And I had a brief period after publishing it when I found myself getting sucked back into that comparison chat, because I didn't know how the book was going to be received. Amazon reviews were coming in, and I was looking at them, and I was, wondering what was going to happen if I got a bad one. And then suddenly I caught myself, and what am I doing? I'm sullying this whole experience. I wasn't writing this book in order to get good Amazon reviews. That's not the point. So so it's amazing. No matter how much work you do, no matter how much awareness you have around this, you need to keep checking in and making sure that you're staying true to what your actual purpose is.
Exactly. And that is so true. People always think that at some point you're ready, you're finished, you're complete.
Right.
But you never are. So
Yeah.
what would be your top tip to somebody maybe who is struggling with that comparison, always sort of comparing their definition of success with others, or not quite sure how to get started on that journey to be more authentic and live the life to your own terms and follow your heart, basically?
Well, I think self-inquiry is the first thing. So to do some good work, and there's so many different ways you can do it. You know, you can do it with a good yoga practice. You can do it with mindfulness. You can do it with expressive writing and journaling, which is something I really enjoy. And I've got sections of that in my book. And once you're all getting on that track to self-awareness, I think the really key thing is to actually have a proper think about what your purpose is, and to not define it based on anything else that's coming from the outside, but on what you feel on the inside. So an intrinsic sense of it. So I think the things that people often forget is that for something to feel purposeful, we have to enjoy it. Like, that sounds so obvious, but so many people don't follow that rule. So we have to be doing something we love. We have to be doing something that we've got some skills in, or that we're building skills up in. And then the other thing is, I really, really think that we feel our most purposeful, and we can avoid all of that comparison and introspective angst when our purpose involves facing out rather than facing in. So all my time when I was fighting, I was facing in and looking for the one win that was going to complete me, as you said, the one win that was going to make me finally feel like a success. But nothing on the outside can do that. So when I turned my attention around and I started actually opening my eyes and connecting with people, and my whole sense of purpose changed from adding something to me to contributing something to the world. So I moved out of competition, but I carried on coaching, and that felt so much more enjoyable. And then I moved into, of course, full-time therapy and writing the book and giving the public speaking events that I'm doing at the moment. All of that stuff fits so much more powerfully with my sense of purpose now than the medals and trophies ever could have done.
That's fantastic. I love that. So just to finish off, can you give a little glimpse of what is Festival of Doers all about? I mean, everybody who organizes an event, they will say, oh, my event is just different and so great. But Festival of Doers really is different. Can you just talk a little bit about that, please? Because you experienced it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was actually really shocked by how great the day was. I wasn't expecting anything like that. The energy in the space was just incredible. All through all of the talks, the room was silent, and there was this electric atmosphere of people paying attention and absorbing information, which you'd hope to happen at any big public speaking event, but it was really something different there. When I was giving my talk, it was the biggest talk I've done. It was the first big talk I'd done. I don't think you knew that beforehand, but it was. And so I was nervous, and I'd put a load of things into place to get myself less nervous. But when I walked onto the stage, first of all, I practiced the facing out thing. So I connected with the people. I thought, these are people that get to learn something that has changed my life, and that's important. And when I did look at these people, they were just these wonderful, smiling, interested, nodding faces across the board. I was like, how could I possibly be nervous talking to these amazing people? It was really, really great.
Yeah, it is a special tribe who comes, and what they say is that they start connecting from like the first second, that the atmosphere is so different that they feel like they know these people already. So I'm so pleased we've been able to get such a fantastic group of women together, and we'll keep doing that, and very exciting to do that in Zurich. So thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to learning more about Mind Monsters and how we can live purposefully in September the 14th in Zurich. Thank you, Hazel.
Thank you.